Oh, right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Pearl Myron Gains DESTROY virtual signature beta males. Jump in.
Kind of full circle because our first debate was on I didn't think that like men cheated that much. And I concede now, I concede you were right. Men that can cheat will. Yeah.
It's just crazy how dudes will put on the cape and lie, you know what I mean, and sell girls a dream just so they can continue to get access to her. The things, what I've realized, typically men's sexual strategy is typically directly proportional to their SMV. So the higher the SMV, the more reckless you can be in how you deal with women. And the lower your SMV, the more calculated and cautious you have to be with women. I'll give you an example. You take someone like Tristan Tate, right? When I was in Romania, this guy's fucking reckless, man. He's like, the girls love him, right? And when I say reckless, I mean as in like the girls love him, but he doesn't pay attention, right? He'll have 2 or 3 of his girlfriends hanging out with him while he has a couple side chicks there, etc. And all the girls get in line because they all want him, right? Despite the fact that he's there with a bunch of other women, he's able to do exactly what he wants, and they don't really have any power. And that's directly proportional because to his high SMV, right? Pause. But you take someone who's lower SMV, a guy that isn't that attractive, that doesn't have options, they have to play a lot nicer, they have to sell a dream of it better, they have to work a lot harder to be able to get the same sexual access.
Yeah, and I got red pilled because there was a guy that came on my show that was like virtue signaling and saying like, oh, like men shouldn't cheat. And I found out he was dating like 3 women that had come on the show. And I was like, what the hell? And I was,
that's how they do it, man. That's how they do it. Everything has to do with guilt. It has to be because inside of their head they feel some kind of guilt, so they want to just compensate by lying. In a lot of porn stars, they do that. They just come to the show and say, we have to respect women, but they're doing a job that is not even respecting women, but they want a virtual signal.
I was like, wait, Myron was the one being honest.
Yeah,
where all these guys are lying, and I was like, holy shit.
It's bad, man. It's really bad. And here's the thing. The reason why is because a lot of guys... Why the hell? Okay.
I can see you now.
Yeah, I can see you too. I'm just trying to figure out why my Zoom is acting weird. Okay, I think I'm fine now. Is there a way to... If you can make your mic a little bit louder? They're asking me in my chat. They're saying you're coming in a little bit low.
Let's see.
If you could turn your... Thanks.
I have to concede, though. You were right. Yeah, like 3 years later, Myron was correct.
I just I just try to keep it real with as far as like what the hell's going on here with the way guys move and everything else like that.
Yeah.
They're always lying.
So I wanted to start with when a guy has a rotation, how many women generally are in it? And what are the categories?
3 to 5, I will say.
Will have in their
3 to 5.
rotation. I gave them before what I've gathered from other guys, and I want you to tell me if I'm right, wrong, or what you would add. So
okay. So you want me to just tell you what the average guy is running as far as like a rotation goes?
Yeah, who can have one? Yeah, like how many girls are in it and how often is he seeing them?
I would say for guys, it depends on the guy's skill level, right? So like most guys can't even get 1 girl in rotation, right? But what I've typically found is if a guy has the skill set to get 1 or 2, he can get 5. Right?
Yeah,
it comes down to like how much does he want to scale his dating, right? For some guys, two is not enough. For other guys, that's a lot, but it really depends on the skill set. So, and how much time the guy has. But I would say if you were to take like an average guy that's, pretty decent with women, he's going to have 1 to 3, somewhere 1 to 3. Anything beyond that really starts to become very cumbersome. So I'll say somewhere in that range.
Because the worst thing is that when if you know how to play there's 2 women, they find out that you're dating them, right? It can go sideways, it can go crazy. But if you know how to play the game, it can go even work in your favor. Okay, it can even work in your favor. You're in a high level when you're noticing that some females are even mentioning, the threesomes and stuff like that. That's when you start noticing that you're escalating the game.
You might not see them every week. You might see, 1 every week, and then you might see another one every 2 weeks, and then you might see another
1 second. Mommy, can you close the door because Papa said recording? Thank you, baby. Love you.
once a month or twice a month.
Okay.
My little girl.
So what would you say, how can women tell if they're the main girl or a side girl? Because what I found, and I'm sure you found this too when interviewing women, a lot of women think they're in relationships with guys when really they're just a side chick.
Yeah. So this is a good question. This one depends on the guy's means, right? So like what ends up happening, and this happens a lot with girls that get with like guys that got money, like that guy might take him on a trip or he might buy her a gift and she'll think that she's the main girl, but what she doesn't realize is he just has a lot of money and he's just tricking off on all of them. So, you know, I would say for women, if your guy has money, be especially suspicious when you get gifts and everything else like that, because that doesn't necessarily mean you're the main girl. But I would say if you're sleeping at his house multiple times a week, that's a pretty safe way to tell that you're the main girl.
So how many times a week would you say makes someone the
Ah,
main
you're
girl?
getting notes, huh?
I want to see
She's getting notes, huh, Pearl? Getting notes. I see you. I see
if
you.
we have the same answer. Hold on.
No problem. I would say if you're getting anywhere between 3 to 4 or more, you could at least say you're a main chick. He might have another main chick, but you can at least say you're one of the main chicks.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. What else? Do you have any other advice for how you can tell other than time?
Time is one. Getting gifts is another thing, but like that depends on the guy, right? If the
Yep.
guy's rich, then it has less meaning. What else? I'm trying to think here. Oh, if you have access to like anything, that's like important, like maybe he has a business and you have access to like his credit card billing or something like that, or he has you as an authorized user or something like that. But he's not rich. That could be a way to tell as well. But I'll say like the more access you have, the higher the likelihood. The more access you have on his life, I'll put it that way. The more access you have on his life, the higher
more
the
likely
likelihood that you are a main girl.
So in Miami, you must see like a lot of crazy things with side chicks. Have you seen side chicks get like written into the deed, or like side chicks that actually meet the wife?
Yeah, I don't not meet the wife, but I've seen like guys like live like a whole other life, like with their girl, with their side girl, and the main girl never knew about it, and vice versa. So,
Damn.
because the thing is here in Miami, man, is
But
all these guys are
again,
tricks, man. So like,
this one was very common back in the day, right? Back the day, like I said, you know, back in the early 20th century, you know, a lot of guys, they used to have like 3 or 4 families. So it was very common.
what'll happen is like they'll sell the dream, they'll show her a certain lifestyle, and she'll fall for it, and she won't even look at some of the red flags. She'll just, she'll pretend like she doesn't see the red flags, right? To kind of have the dream continue going on.
And how long do you see women until they age out of Miami? Like, because I always say the hottest women will go to like A-level cities, I call them, like Vegas, LA, Miami. How long until they move out, either from a bad decision or they age out?
Good question. Depending on how well she takes care of herself, late 20s to early 30s. What I've noticed with white women, in particular in Miami, is they get out of here sooner.
Yeah.
They get out of here sooner.
And do you see them like getting married usually, or where do you what happens to them?
They go to Fort Lauderdale.
No way.
They get out of Miami. Like they go to Fort Lauderdale, they go to West Palm Beach, etc. Like the other thing too, which is it's interesting, but I've noticed it's like they get a lot of hate down here from the Latinas and from the black girls. So white girls that come down here stay for a period of time and then they get the hell out or they move up north. If they're Russian, they go to Sunny Isles. If they're like a regular white chick, they go to Fort Lauderdale.
And why would you say that most men that cheat, they just see it as sex, or like, because I was saying some men cheat for different reasons. Like when they cheat with the nanny and the nanny's ugly, it's like because usually the wife isn't giving him something. So we go.
Well, basically because it's an interesting, and you can see this in the Empire Boardwalk, with the main guy, this Irish main guy, right? I forgot his name. He just married a regular mom of 3 or 4 kids, right? And he just attracted to his motherhood kind of traits. And it's the same, right? They just attracted to those home skill traits. A guy with a lot of money, he can get any female, but then when she starts folding the laundry, cleaning the kitchen, and all the stuff, he start getting attracted to that. You go, that's game right there. That's game for a female. Game.
He goes to the nanny. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, have you seen that?
I did. I think most of the time when guys cheat is just to get something new.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to, man. Novelty is literally like every guy's like thing. Everybody wants new pussy, regardless of how good your girlfriend is. So that's what I think is the main thing.
So one of the best things that you told me on the show years ago, I thought you were wrong, but you're right now, was you said it's different, like a different time. And I would say the cutoff is like men over 40 and men under 40, where like some men over 40 don't really know as much about like the social media age. And so, but I'm just wondering, Like the men, do you see men, have you ever seen men not cheat that could? I guess is the question.
Have I ever seen men not cheat that could? Of course, but
Yeah.
typically those guys tend to be religious. The guys that I see that don't cheat, that have the capability, 9 out of 10 times they're extremely religious, which is why their conviction to God keeps them from cheating. That's
Which is a good thing, guys. The good thing, I always say that you need to become a person that still have the option but never act on it. That's the power right there, guys. Have the option but never act on it, because that builds character, right? That builds character, and it's powerful. It's powerful.
And do STDs ever become a problem? Like, have you seen that? You know,
for a lot of guys, man, no, unless they're like smashing a bunch of like thoughts raw, like not really. Not for a lot of guys. I think for women, man, they're way more likely to get an STD just because obviously, they're the ones receiving, right? So
yeah.
Versus a dude, you just wash your D.
Yeah, well, because that's the biggest thing you hear with women and cheating. It's like they don't want to get an STD. And I was just wondering if, like, because you get so much insight into what's going on in the marketplace, like if that's really a problem with guys that run harems and rotations.
I think it's two things. I think it's a twofold thing. So, yes, they have a valid concern about the STDs for sure, but they just use that as a crux because the reality is they don't like the fact that he's having sex with other women. That's the real reason. Like, because what I've realized is women want higher status men, but they don't want to deal with high status problems. They want to basically be able to have a dude that's like the top tier guy and have him all to himself, or have him all to herself.
It being a beta. They want the top tier guy, but be a beta. They want all the traits of the high status man, but as soon as that high status man start making beta behavior, guess what happened, guys? They leave them. They know. Those guys know. That's why they don't stop. And first of all, she got attracted in the first place because he's that type of guy. He is that type of guy. He has the option. He has the money. He has everything. That's why she's attracted to that dude. But she want to change that.
The consequences of being with someone like that, right? And they kind of want to have this illusion in their mind that they're still the prize. So, though they know that their guy has the ability to go out and get other women, and probably does, and they dislike that, instead of saying, well, no, I want you to be monogamous to me because I'm special, they kind of know in the back of their mind that's a ludicrous concept because they're not special. So they kind of cope and say, oh, well, I don't want any diseases, right? That's how a lot of girls I've noticed kind of deal with the problem, is they say, oh, I don't want a lot of diseases. But the reality is, I said, but then I counter, I say, okay, well, let's assume he used the condom on every other girl. Well, no, I just don't like him doing that. And then you find out what the real problem is. Because I solved for that issue. He used the condom every time. Would you be okay with that? No, I just don't want him fucking other girls. That's really the issue. It's not the STDs like they claim. Yeah. It's the fact that he's hooking up with other women, and they're using the STDs as a justification for why their guy, who is 2, 3, 4 points above them in sexual market value, can't have sex. That's why.
Yeah,
and is it hard for you to see these guys like virtue signal when you know they're lying? Because that you're never gonna like air them out on a podcast. Like you're not gonna do that. But I'm sure you've had guys come on where you see them virtue signaling, and they're like pandering, about the cheating stuff. Because I'd say that's like
I hate that.
One of your most contentious takes.
It's because it's dishonesty. That's why.
And like the J stuff.
They hate me for that too. Yeah, no, this is why I don't hang out with blue pill guys. So if you look at like my friends, the guys that I hang out with, that I spend the most time with, whether they're guys on a team or whatever it may be, or creators that like I collab with a lot, whether it's the Tates or the Justin Waller or Sterling, these other guys, like they're all red pill aware. And the reason why is because blue pill guys do stupid shit that is just infuriating, right? Whether it's like they try to show off in front of a girl, or they put down their friend in front of a girl to look better, some stupid shit like that. Like, blue pill guys just don't get it. And then they also will virtue signal and do dumb shit like that, saying, oh yeah, women are queens or whatever. And that shit's very annoying. And I think the culture's kind of caught up to it. Like, we're all tired of this virtue signaling shit. I'll give you the perfect example. Bryce Mitchell made some comments, right, about a certain guy with a mustache from the 1940s.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was he went viral all over YouTube for talking about this, right? And a certain event that also occurred in the 1940s. And he went viral. The video got taken down. Dana White called him an idiot, blah, blah, blah. So he goes on a podcast with Rampage and his partner Beard or something like that, Bear. I forget the guy's name. And during the podcast, Bear's trying to like, virtue signal saying, yo, you can't be saying stuff like that. That's offensive to a group of people. Mustache Man killed millions upon millions. All this other bullshit. See a bunch of O/slash in my chat, right? So what ended up happening was he got so much backlash in the YouTube comment section of his own video for trying to tell Bryce what he can and can't say, right? Because not only did he bring Bryce on, he gave him a whole lecture about it. He said, we're not even going to give you the opportunity to explain yourself, blah, 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 all this other bullshit. So they fucking ratioed him into oblivion to the point where they commented on his shit, disliked the video, and he had to take the video down, right? So why do I give this example? I give this example to simply state this. People are tired of being browbeat, right, and virtue signal to try to look like you got the moral high ground. People are tired of it because we know it's inauthentic.
Very.
We know it's not.
And that's a good point. I think people went to this 1970 to early 2000 kind of mentality where you have to lie and be unauthentic, where we just created a very weak system. So now we're in a position where we need authentic people. I think if we were authentic with each other, we will move things quicker. The problem is a lot of people don't want to hear the truth because it makes them look at themselves through the mirror and say, you know what? I need to fix some things. I need to do certain things, right? The red pill, which is just, again, it's not a movement. It's just a change of conscious. Instead of looking at the world for what it was, you're looking at it for what it is. Make at least the effort to just present the information that needs to be presented, guys. That's what it is. Has nothing to do with dating. Has nothing to do with the people with the hat and the master guy. Has nothing to do with that. It's just change of conscious. You're gonna be looking at the world as it is instead of what it was.
Authentic. We know that you don't talk like this with your friends behind closed doors. So authenticity is widely respected.
Yeah.
Right? This is another thing too.
Is it hard to
Why did
obtain?
Kanye go so viral over the past couple of days saying a whole bunch of stuff?
Yeah.
The reason why people respect authenticity, and they respect people speaking their minds, regardless of how provocative it is.
Yeah.
Right? So
100%.
And I say all that to tie it back. This is why I dislike being around guys that are virtue signaling, because like you've seen already, when guys say this bullshit about, oh yeah, I'm a feminist or I'm a champion for women, etc., those guys tend to be the worst ones. Those are the ones that are smacking women around. Those are the ones that are cheating. Those are the ones that are doing the fuck shit. So that's why people don't like virtue signalers, because we know it's not real. And society's looking up to it.
I have a theory that the Christian simps are bigger simps than the leftist guys in open relationships. Because at least the Christian simps get cheated on by their wife, and they have to take her back because of God, where the leftist guy, at least he's doing it too.
So, okay, so you're saying
they're both simps, but like I would put the leftist guy above the Christian simps usually.
That's a good point.
So you're saying like a liberal guy, though he's a pussy, he still has more awareness of female nature than the Christian guy.
Yeah, like take Destiny versus the guy that married Nala.
Oh, like wow, yeah, like,
Destiny, and I know you're friends with him, it's not a shot at him, but like he was hooking up with like Lauren Southern, he was like hooking up with all these women that were pretty attractive, where like the guy that marries Nala is stuck to a porn star forever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's an interesting argument you make. Some guys play what I call liberal game, right? And what I mean by that is like they'll play this social justice warrior, this I'm a champ, I'm a fighter and advocate for women's rights, etc. And the only guys that get away with doing that properly are guys that look very good. No, pause. Or guys that are famous, right? I'll give you a perfect example right now. You take someone like Hassan Piker, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people remember, 10 years ago plus, he was doing like frat bro videos on how to pick up girls in college, right? Yeah, he did. Yeah. He doesn't like to talk about it, but he has a bunch of old videos where he's like literally doing like frat bro, red pill light videos on how to be attractive to women. So he obviously has a concept and understands what it takes to be arousing and attractive to women, right? But now he's like, a socialist leftist, whatever. But the thing is that a guy like him can have a pussy mindset
pull that woman,
like that,
yeah.
because deep down he still understands, the red pill to a degree where he still has to show some type of dark triad traits to be attractive. And then on top of that, right, besides that awareness that he has, he also is famous and rich. So he's going to be...
So it all goes and tied up to his status at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys see in the comment section below. Like always, I will see you in the next one.